Oh, he may get it.
They're doing him a favor right now.
Okay.
They're doing him a favor.
Number 8's already on the ice.
Yeah, they're doing him a favor.
Didn't think we were going to see the pull to goalie. At 3 goals, Chris Knobloch not conceding anything. Okay. Alex Ovechkin on the ice. Well, the game plan for the guys in red is pretty clear, and the chant for Ovi will start here.
All of a sudden, he's got some jump in his legs.
Yes, he does. Connor McDavid still without a shot on goal today with 2:40 to go in the third period. And a puck that comes to Ovechkin. He scores. He did it. He did it. It's a hat trick for Ovechkin.
John Walton there with the call. Chasing 895 is presented by Main Street Bank. Cheer local, bank local. Put their team in your office. Visit mstreetbank.com for more information. So sitting at 882 goals, the chase for Gretzky is 1,000% on.
And you talked about it earlier. You actually did some little math.
I did, yes.
And that's not your strength.
It's not my forte.
But somehow you managed to figure out that he's on a 0.7 goals per game pace, which is actually ahead of his career goals per game, which is like 0.6.
0.6 is his career number.
So to be doing what he's doing is insane. But in other words, the bottom line is he's maybe, 17, 18, if he stays on pace, 17, 18 games away from potentially breaking this thing.
So it's likely, if he continues on that pace, that he breaks it in one of these 3 games. Either at Boston, I think that's April 1, at Carolina, April 2nd, or home against the Blackhawks, April 4th. It could happen in that. There's a good chance it happens in that span, depending on how he performs over the next few weeks.
Yeah. I know you're, adamant that he is the best player in D.C. sports history, but he's probably still not the most popular guy right now because of Jaden Daniels.
I mean, I'm not arguing. It's not a popularity contest. I'm just talking about the best player
accomplishments.
Player-wise in the sport.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to argue.
Yeah,
I don't think it's close.
I don't think anybody even comes close.
Yeah.
Now, if Jaden wins a couple Super Bowls, then we
if Jaden wins a couple Super Bowls, we'd have to recalibrate.
That's a little different.
But, just remarkable. I mean, what he's doing at
But the
39.
fact that the Caps are what they're doing and to come out of the break and post 15 goals against 2 teams that are pretty decent, especially Edmonton.
It's exciting.
And the fact that they're just unstoppable right now offensively.
I'm kind of with EB. Just start the playoffs. You don't want to peak too early.
I'm afraid of peaking too soon. Not that we have, but, it's just a whole new ball game once the playoffs start, Mm-hmm. And we've had expectations so many times. I'm scared to have expectations.
You assume Logan's going to be the starter in the playoffs, right?
I mean, I would assume, yeah. I mean, he's taking the number 1 job by stranglehold over Lindgren.
He's the guy.
And
Lindgren play on Saturday?
Lindgren played because it was back-to-back.
Yeah.
It is weird, too, how goalies, like, year to year can just – that's why I'm a little bit shocked they gave him 6 years.
I already forgot the guy they gave all that money last year.
Darcy?
Oh, Darcy. He's having a good year.
He's having a really good year.
Look up his numbers.
I know, but they just said, see you later.
That's
because
Kings,
goalies are mercurial, man. I mean, literally, that's crazy.
And Darcy Kemper, he's got the bluest eyes on the planet. You just get lost in those eyes.
He's got like Cal Ripken eyes. Cal Ripken's got some dreamy blue eyes,
I remember
too.
interviewing him, and he's like the nicest guy ever. I'm not going to root against him just because he's not wearing a Cap sweater. Super nice, but dreamy blue eyes.
And we determined that we are going to ask Coach Carbs
tomorrow
because Valdez is adamant that he can't. Can he tie the record? He can tie the record on an empty netter.
Tie is
fine. That's fine.
It's acceptable. It's not ideal, but it is acceptable.
Yeah, but he can't break the record. I guess I'm leaning towards Valdez's
I think
stance.
that makes sense. You don't want that. You don't want that
record
being the highlight.
Yeah,
for breaking Gretzky's record.
So we're gonna ask Carbs if he's tied, and it's 7-3 or 6-3. Are you gonna put him out there to potentially break the record on an empty netter?
Yeah, I think I know his answer. I think his answer will be no.
Yeah,
he's not going to be on the ice with an empty net.
I mean, is that a no-brainer for him? I don't know.
I think he's going to say he hasn't thought about it yet.
I know. I'm going to say now think about it.
Right.
Because I bet he hasn't thought
He might not admit it, but I would guess in his heart of hearts, behind closed doors, when you're sharing a cold beer with him, he would say,
in those situations,
no chance.
You don't need it. Now, what if it's this? What if it's 4-3 and they've pulled their goalie.
Yeah.
And they're trying to catch up.
And he's just on the ice.
He's just on the ice.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's different, and he gets an empty netter. It's not like it's up 6-3. Now, would you have a problem with that one?
Yes.
So he can't be on the ice.
Can't be on the ice.
It's not great optics. I agree with Valdez here.
But
there's no context.
Flow of the game.
There's no context to the clip. The clip just exists.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
You're right, but if it's 4-3 and they pull their goalie, and during the game he's skating off to the bench and
Yes.
Ovi's still on, he might be able to score that way.
Well, Ovi just has to stand there.
If I were Ovi, I would intentionally miss.
He has to
'Cause I don't
pass
want-
every time he
I don't want
touches
that being
it.
my legs. I'm gonna punt.
Nobody's going to care.
The puck is
punting
going
it.
the puck's
At the
going to be a
end,
hot potato.
nobody's going to care.
I agree.
People are just going to say you're the all-time.
No.
Do you remember Gretzky's when he broke the record?
No.
Do you know what Gretzky's goal was?
No.
Of course not.
Right.
You can't say that because anytime anybody thinks of Strahan, they think of the goofy
Yeah,
sack.
I can't have
That's
it.
because that was.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, but that's because that was
But I don't think of
controversial.
that.
No.
You don't think about him at all.
When you say Michael Strahan, I don't think that Brett Favre laid down for him.
I think of it.
he
I think
had
of
an
it.
Everybody
incredible
does.
career.
I think most
does.
people do.
You guys can. I think about his incredible career.
I think about him jumping on top of a prone
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Most people think phony. Phony record.
Yes.
I
Hold
still
on.
believe in the record, but the optics of
But
it are
that
not
did
good.
nothing.
Exactly.
That
That's
doesn't-
that's my entire
I'm
point.
We're not
That's
diminishing his
crazy.
career, but we're saying
you're diminishing his career.
his record. We're diminishing that record.
No, you're diminishing
the
his
single
career.
season
you're
record.
Saying when you think of Michael Strahan, you think of that. When I think of Michael Strahan, I think of a dominant.
No. I'm
player.
with Valdez in this. 50 years from now, when people have never watched Ovi, they're just watching highlights. The highlight of him breaking Gretzky's record cannot be an empty netter.
Yes, because
Get
that's
the
going to be
message
front and
to
center.
Ovi. If you have the empty netter to break it, you have to just push it 15 feet wide.
Throw it
You
in the
have to punt
stands.
it.
Throw
You
it in
have
the
to-
It'll
stands.
be interesting
You
to see
got to
what he
punt
would do.
that one and just wait for a better opportunity. I'm completely with you. That cannot be that cannot be the snapshot.
Well, the odds of that happening are not very high.
They're not great, but don't take
But
any
the fact
chances
that he
with it.
threw up 3 last night, Cakes and I were talking last week. We both agreed it was probably going to bleed into next year.
Right.
I don't think
it's
so
on.
now.
This weekend accelerated
I
the
know,
pace.
it definitely
big
did.
time.
It's on.